Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report. So Elliott wave for the ASX 200 here on the daily chart. What we've been looking for here is wave 3 here of intermediate degree, wave 4 here, and from wave 4 looking up for wave 5. So we counted this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then we've been counting 5 waves up through to here, which we can have a top in place here, counting 5 waves from this low to this particular high here. So if it's going to fail, this is where it's going to fail from. And of course we're in a bullish trend here, and we don't want to fight the trend unless we have evidence for that. The move down through here so far appears to be in 5 waves, so a corrective rally back up into testing the 6,300 area, and then another move down from that point there. Like I mentioned, we don't want to fight a strong trend, which this is, so that means that we also need to be sensible and take the next logical step to any move or signal to the upside, and that logical step would be the 6,300 as a tested support. Now this is also a really important level as well, because I know that if this gets support here, then we'll move up to 6,500 here. So from 6,000 here we have what we call group 1, which is 100, 200 and 300, 1, 2, 3 of minor degree, and if we get support on that, as mentioned, we will push up. So we need to talk about both counts here, and we need to talk about strategy. So with that in mind, let's just move into the 4-hour chart here. Just reduce this here. So what we've been doing from this low here of wave 4 here, we've been counting 5 waves up to the upside here in terms of 1 and 2, and then all this here for wave 3, complicated wave 4 here, and then wave 5 up here. So we've nailed that all right, and as a top here and as a move down through here, it does appear that we've got 5 waves down here. So so that means that we'd have a rally back to supply zones, or the 61.8% mark. It has rallied higher than that, and it's sitting on the 6,300 there. So yeah, that gives a little bit of a warning signal that there's strength in the market there. But at the same time, we know that the 61.8% is just a bit of a guide stick as well. So so we need to take the closest, largest number on board, which is 6,300. So look, really, we just need to give it a little bit of time to see if we do get support on top of that 6,300 there. So if I've tried to sort of look if I've made a mistake anywhere, and if I have made a mistake, I mean, I've counted this as 1 here and 2 here, which is fine, and then this one here makes 5 waves and a correction here, and then we've got 5 waves up here for wave. So we've got wave from here, we've got wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So I'm quite sort of happy with all of this in terms of the count. But if I had to view this count just off the cuff there, I would still call this wave 1 and 2 here, but then I'd have to look at this as wave 1 to here, wave 2 to here, wave 3 to here, wave 4 to here, and wave 5 to here. So really what that does is it puts wave 3 over here and then wave 4 here. So a 38.2% retracement level would be probably a bit lower than that 6,200, but I'll just check that. Yeah, pretty much around that area there. So it, even as a wave 4, it really hasn't pulled back, and really this wave 4 should be larger than this wave 4 here, because it's another degree higher, and that's sort of not the case at this stage. So I'm not quite sure where, if I've made an error, where that would be, but that's okay too. It's not easy to be right all the time, but the way we correct that is with strategy. So let's take a look at this in here a little bit closer. I'm not sure if I've been working on the 2 hour or the 1 hour, but okay. So just the 1 hour chart here. So yeah, last time we were looking for a top, we've come down nicely. We're looking for a retest as wave 2 here, and then I can count this down as wave 3, 4 and 5 here. If I've made a mistake in this, and I've gone over it on the tick chart and it looks fine, I've gone over it on the cash market and it looks fine, but if I have made a mistake and we do make a new high here, then I would need to look at this here as an A wave, a B wave, and five waves down from this top here, making a C wave here. So in this instance here, with this rally here, it has rallied up higher than the 61.8%. Look, it could just get to here and may have another little pop in here, because when the cash market opens, the banks will jump a little bit higher and so on. So you know, it can jump higher in here. But what we want to see is that at some point it's going to come back. Now, it's either going to come back and lock under here and then move down. The short trade here is quite a way away. It would be under the 6722 here. So that's, unfortunately, if I can just move that, we don't need that now, would be under here. And a long trade at this point would be, copy that, would need that reference high in here, because it can fade from that point, you know. So I'll just leave that up there. I know it's a bit of a wide thing. So really today Friday will be about setting up for a trend next week, which will either be higher or lower from that point. I can't get it much sort of simpler than that, so that's what we'll have to work with. So in a nutshell, you'd really want to see that 6,300 there as a nice tested support, and for that to be tested support, you need that first high in the market here and then this to come back, and you know, and it may even just from this high here probably just do something like this here, correct that trend a bit and then move up, you know. So that's what you need to be a little bit mindful of. So a little bit of patience and so on involved in that particular structure there. So in the count here on the tick chart here, the 100 tick, I've got it as 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this, ABC for the 4th and down for the 5th. And this here counts 5 waves up here as an A and a B, and then I was thinking of 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 4 and 5. So coming up into this 6, 320 area here for that, just move that. And that's where I can't draw on this side of the tick chart, but that's where this top here will be the reference point for any move high from there. I mean, if you were long in here, you'd have to leave the stop under group 2 here, 65, 72 and 80. You'd have to leave it under here, because it would need time to work in this space here. Let's just say that it is a bull trend and you muck this up here and don't get it right here, then the next point to move in on is the 6,330 as a tested support, because that number, that 3 there, is also group 1. This is group 1 here because it's a 3 here, the 300 of minor degree, and the next degree smaller is sub-level. So the 30 here, this 330. So you want to be adding on that point, and then you also want to be adding on top of the 50 as well. Okay, as a tested support, so you'd be going for the longer trend at that time. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at the other Asian markets now, and with China here, we're being on the daily chart. We're counting this down from the top here. This could also be a more bearish market, by the way. This wave A here could be wave 1 and 2 here. So there's a few different ways to count this, but I've just counted it this way in line with a lot of the other markets, and just getting the count, just pulling it in. But I know there can be a bigger bearish market for this, and there's not enough data on this particular chart here to show you that. I'd need to go to the trading levels charting program where we've got years of data on that, and maybe I'll do that shortly. But for the meantime, I think that from this wave 4 here, we've got 5 waves down here, which is quite clear and easy to count, and then the retracement as wave wave 1, 2 and 3 here. So we're looking for wave 4 to come back to this level here, and this is also the 38.2% retracement level. So I'm still looking for a move down here to finish this. But at the same time, because we're working with this level here, it's a medium level. It's just as strong as this medium level here. That's 15 here. So this medium level here carries a lot of weight. So if this market finds support on this level, well, then we'll need to look for long trades too. So just going into the 4-hour chart here. So from wave 4 up here, very clear wave 1 down and 2 down, and then I was considering all of this wave 3 here, and then wave 4 coming back to this 38.2% retracement level here. Now it's okay for this market to move above the level here, but you know, we don't want it finding, well, if it finds support, we'll go long. So, and the classic trading levels pattern is the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then a corrective pattern back this way, and then up there. So this top here becomes we've still got plenty of time for this, so that top becomes the key signal maker there. So this little move here that's moving up through here, it's not finished yet. So if I can just clear this out the way here, I can see that we've got 1 and 2 and 3 here and before here, so a bit of more mucking around here, and then there'll be the 5th wave up here. So it's that 5th wave we want, and then when it comes back here, it just could come all the way down. It'll retest here, of course, and then move lower down here, or we're going to get this. So either way, we will play it out. And if you're still short in this market, then that's fine too. We've taken most of the money off the table here, and we understood that we'll see further downside and a correction here. So now we just need to wait for this to play out here, because if I've made a mistake here, then this wave 5 is in here somewhere, and I've made my mistake counting in one of these waves here. But this will be the telltale sign here of a tested support here and moving to the upside. And over to Hong Kong here, same sort of pattern here as well. We were looking for wave 1 down here, wave 2 here, all the way down for wave 3. We're out of this short trade from here, unfortunately taking 50% here, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, and I felt that was the right thing, the logical thing to do at that time, so I can live with that. But the move down here, so we've squashed in to get stopped out within this space here, and if the 28 became a retested resistance, it's still the case, well then we would look to short on that. So we had a spike down here, but we never take the breakout, we wait for the retest. The retest is more important than the breakout. Well, they're both important and they're both part of the process, so you can do many things with each of them. So what we're looking for here is wave 4 to have a 38.2% retracement level, which is a bit higher here. So it may be possible that this could continue as up to here as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave up to here, and have this wave 4, have this wave 4 sitting here as well. So it does present a bit of a tricky situation, and you know, if I've got China wrong, well then I'll probably have this market wrong, and this wave 5 needs to be in here somewhere, and that's possible. I can see that that's possible. So, but I just want to give this. I'll just give this a couple of days here, just in this space here. I just want to see what it does and how it performs. So, if we can get 5 waves up off the low here, then we may be able to see the correction when it pulls back. And if it is corrective, well, then we'll move in along from that point. So, yeah. So we'll just leave that one for a little while. The Nikkei here. I've got this like this here. I don't know if this is the right count or not. So I've got this down as wave 1 here, and an A and a B and a C for wave 2 coming in here. So this will be a 5 little wave structure just finishing in here. If the 22,500 here becomes a support, well then we'll need to be long from that point. Okay, so that's one point to be had here, and also to even though I've got it down as wave 1 here, I know that we could also pull this down as wave 2 here. I am having difficulty with this count here, so it's possible that this can be a wave 2 and we could be in a bull market from this point here. So let's just see this. So once this 5 wave finishes here, then we'll see a retracement, so we'll have to go along at this point. This will sort this space will sort this out, so apologies for being late in the game on this one, but yeah, I just need to allow it to move into a position that I understand. The Nifty, I'm taking, I mean, we've got a bearish scenario and a bullish scenario. So the bearish scenario is this little move up here being wave B here, and then wave 4 still becomes over here for that as such. So, but there's also this nice bullish count, which I think's okay, really. So this would be wave 1 and wave 2 here, then wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and then we're moving into a third wave. And it is displaying the personality of a third wave of moving higher through here. So that's why I sort of mentioned the long trades on the other indice markets in Asia as well. So this little move moving up here can be from wave 2 to wave 3 here, and wave 4 will be across the 11,500, which is the medium level, and so on from that point. So let's just go into, I'm not sure what chart I've been working on here. Okay, the 4-hour chart is good. So wave 1 and 2, wave 1 and 2 here, and this wave 1 here is basically wave 1 here and wave 1, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for wave 2, and wave 3 here, and wave 4 here, and then wave 5 to here. So it does fit in there as wave 1, and that's the best fit that I can see, because it also helps us line up this A, B, C here as wave 2 here. So it makes that, counting this as 5 waves, makes this corrective wave as thing. So we didn't know this bullish count at the time, but we knew that this was corrective here, so we knew we had to go long above this high here. Technically that would be it. So that's the way that's triggered this here. So the move up through here so far is wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So we're still moving to the upside here, so there's still further to go here, and we will see if we want to get back in again for this, or if you want to get into this, well then we should really wait for this green wave 3 to complete here, and then we'll get wave 4 pull back, and then we can move in, or you can move in again, and I'll look up for that setup. But it's the same here as well in a way. If you're going to trade long here, then you would need to keep the stop out of the way down here. So let's just put that stop in, and we can play with that along the way. It will be a bit wider. I prefer wider stops, and I prefer trading less capital. Just makes things easier. So technically we should be under here, but let's just go back in under here for the time being. So it's quite a wide stop by all means. So until we get a better setup, because I can see that, if I can just clean that up there a little bit. I can see this little move here from this low here. We've got wave 1 and 2 and 3 here and 4 here. So we've still got to go up to, there. That's clearly 1, 2. I don't need those there anymore. So we've got clear 1, clear 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this here. Then we've got 1 and 2 in here, 3 and 4 and 5. So yeah, look, we could get it on the pullback here, but it's still going to be a bit messy here. Let me just tune this in a little bit here. So we need to move up to here first, and then we'll see some type of correction here that can pull back to here. Probably sit on that there. And then this could move all the way up to here, and then we would see some type of correction here. So I won't put it any lower than that, but it can come lower than that, but I'll just put it onto here and then a move up to here. So this is generally the pattern that we're looking for. This may not go as high as this here either, but I need to put it there. So this will be here. So it'll look something like that there. So there's other ways to move into this, you know, if you trade 5 contracts, we'll then just get 1 contract in here, and you know, and then, you know, wait for this one. And if this wave 4 is further up here, then that's okay as well. But anyway, I'll let you think that one out. All right, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.